It all starts
with a dead girl.
Usually. Hi, my name's A.J. Barrera. I'm a psychic medium and intuitive investigator. I've been doing this work for nearly 2 decades, and I've been healing lives, but also working with cold cases and missing persons cases with active, retired law enforcement and private investigators. As a psychic medium, I see spirit, I hear spirit, and I feel spirit, meaning that I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, and clairsentient. So if someone passed with their pain in the chest of a heart attack, I feel pain in my chest. I also hear information as a thought when it comes through as well.
Ever since I was little, I've had this dream. It always felt so real. The blood on my cheek, the cold sweat running down my skin. No wonder people used to think I was strange.
Yeah, me too.
If they only knew.
Funeral at 12:30, ultrasound, funeral at 9 o'clock. Man, how many funerals does this guy have? Always a creepy cat in a house, right?
Come on, Jack, where'd you put it? Let's do this the other way.
There's always another way. There's something there. Jack's tie clip. So that there was like a little premonition. Butterflies.
I used to have a thing for them. I guess they just used to make me happy.
Butterflies are actually a common sign in the spirit world where our loved ones will send us messages. So I wonder if Jack's gonna try to send her a message.
We lived upstairs from Jack's funeral home. It wasn't as weird as it sounds.
Well, you know what? I think we're looking for a father, right? Or Jack. This might be Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Yep. I don't know how many people would actually pull a person out, especially on your own or by yourself. Put this tie clip with Jack.
There. I guess you're ready.
We're putting Jack back in the refrigerator, saying goodbye, physically at least. Oh, hell. Of course. Paranormal right there, some spirit activity. Premonition right here. All right. All right, Jack's rising back from the dead. And by the way, they don't normally look this way when they come back from the dead. They don't look all creepy and freaked out. They come back normal. It's interesting too because Jack's mouth is not even moving, and sometimes how spirit communicates is actually through a soul-to-soul connection or telepathy or through symbols. Some of us would call the left side a visitation, where we sense them, we feel their energy, rather than just a dream state or a lucid state of mind.
Most people would give anything to have that opportunity.
Yep.
It still hurt like hell. I love you too, Daddy.
So Jack is for sure a father.
I used to think everyone saw the world the way I did. Divided. Torn between two realities.
I agree, 2 realities, the physical and the spirit world. We have to coexist.
My name is Thomas. I need your help at Nemo Resort. Find me there.
Hello?
Typically what happens is that people are either born into it, they have a natural ability, or either they develop that ability. There's a sense that her father knew there was something that was there, so either she saw spirit, felt spirit at a very young age. She also grew up in mortuary, so obviously she was very sensitive to that energy, that she would naturally pick that up. We're all intuitive. We're not all mediums, but we're all intuitive because mediumship is something that has to be developed and worked on. We have to think mediumship as a muscle, as a brain, so the more that we work with it, the stronger and better that it gets. So we're looking for Thomas. A ball out of nowhere. All right, there's footprints. We're walking through the woods, I think trying to find a little girl, which who looks for a little girl like this? You know you're only looking for trouble. You won't typically actually see those footprints as a vision. Depends on the clairvoyance or depending on the medium or the psychic. So some people may see it as a vision. They may get it as a thought or as a feeling or as a pull. Definitely having a flash premonition. So what's happening here with Mrdja, she's actually in between both worlds, as a medium would be, and she's coexisting with the afterlife and the reality of what's happening here. You know, I think most of us live in 2 worlds without really knowing it because we're so taught to believe in routine and reality, and we're not taught to believe in, you know, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, so our perception changes over the years. And especially when we get older, children usually around 12, 13 years old lose that perception of spirit world and energies and imaginary friends. Oh man. All right, she's having another premonition. Sometimes it can be a little scary, traumatic for some people.
What the hell are you, Neva?
So the aura represents the energy of the place, residual energy, bad energy, good energy. That is something that we pick up or see around people or around certain locations, and it's a very common thing.
The handle's missing. Maybe I could replace it with something.
All right, so we need something to open this up here. And then we hear giggles of a little girl.
Huh?
And that's probably a ghost or spirit. All right, phone ringing. There it is. All right. And there's voices, so it sounds like a little girl talking. So sometimes when I do my work, it sounds like whispers, and this is a great example.
I'm here.
Boom.
No, there's definitely something. Trust me, you made the right call sending me.
Even the objects here had auras.
That's what I mean. So everything has energy that we touch. A phone, a table, a tree, everything has energy. So when she picked up this phone, she felt the aura, the vibration from that. If you guys ever go antique shopping and you guys pick up an old jewelry box or a table or you bring home a chair and all of a sudden you have paranormal activity, yeah, that's because you brought home that energy. So I always tell people, bless the energy, clear the energy, sage, Palo Santo, because you don't want that energy into your own home. We're looking for a tool. There's an arrow there on the ground, so that might be literally a sign from spirit. What about a car? The car should have something. So in a very weird way, and this will sound crazy, in the beginning of the video, there was like a moth or butterfly, and in this video, right by the vehicle, is actually a drawing of a butterfly. So I'm trying to interpret my symbolism as a medium. So let's see what's in this vehicle, if there's a tool or something we can use here. Screwdriver. Okay.
Ow!
That's definitely paranormal right there. There's that butterfly again. So we're gonna open this up with that screwdriver. All right, walked up to a gate that's chained up here. And interesting enough, a flashlight is on the floor. And spirit
Hello?
would mess with electronics quite often, or batteries. They'd like to drain batteries. And so now the hotel lobby bell is going off and the light's flickering, which is a common thing that spirits do. And basically this is a haunting that's here. So we're gonna go answer that bell and see what the spirit wants. Which in most cases, most people don't wanna do that. They don't even wanna see a spirit, but I'm all down for that. So she's gonna touch the bell. This is a form of psychometry.
Hi there.
Oh, hi. You startled me.
I did, didn't I?
Oh shoot.
Okay.
Looks like the elevator just got stuck. So we're gonna have an out-of-body experience, basically where you have this kind of dream state, or two, you have the will to kind of like astral travel. So we also call that astral projection. So it's something that you can train yourself to do. Typically it happens when we're asleep, or this kind of altered state of mind where we feel like that someone's hovering over us, or someone's leaning over us, or watching over us. That's kind of your astral body right there with you. So this is what we're gonna do next. All right, so we're gonna look at this.
There. A fuse box. Need some energy to spark it up.
All right, there's like bats or something, and we're using a spirit shield. Moths and spirit worlds are dangerous. Use a spirit shield to burn through them. So a spirit shield would be basically psychic self-defense. I always tell people protect yourself in the white light, or protect yourself with mirrors or a brick wall so you don't allow other energies to come into you. That's kind of similar, but I don't think we actually have like a power that we can throw out there as a shield. But I think a psychic shield mentally or subconsciously that we can put around us when we're out in public or with different people would totally make sense.
Oh, I don't think we should be here.
It's okay, sadness. Look, there's no one here.
So the spirit girl just disappeared.
Sadness?
She finally found Thomas's office. And of course, electronics go on. This is a sign of paranormal stuff because that is normal. That does happen quite often. It's kind of like the angel of death or something, guys. I have no idea. You know, the game was quite interesting. You know, there's kind of some things that kind of made sense for me, such as the out-of-body experiences, astral projection, premonition, psychometry, just visions, someone being an empath, kind of truly relates to what we do as mediums. There are some things that don't make sense to me. There are a little Hollywood, a little too much that are out there. My premonitions don't come in as loud and screaming, and I don't get massive headaches, and I don't go crazy in these moments like the video game itself. But other than that, I would recommend it. To be quite honest, I may actually like download it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another episode of Professionals Play. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe because we got plenty more content. Check it out.